Well, what a match indeed it turned out to be. It ebbed and flowed, but towards the end, it is Uday Saharan playing a magnificent captain's knock, as they say, to take India home. The under 19 Indian men's team is into the final of the World Cup for a ninth time, and what a thriller it was. By the way, the closest that this Indian team has been run as far as this whole competition is concerned, because just to put things in perspective, today's victory margin is 2 wickets, but prior to this, the closest that they were run in any match was the one against Bangladesh that they had. That too, the victory margin for that was 84 runs, after which there were two wins back to back in excess of 200 runs that this Indian team managed to win by. But boy, oh boy, what a performance today. At 40 for 4, you thought that the match was gone from this Indian side, and there could be a landslide of wickets after that, but it wasn't quite the case, because we saw a record partnership for the fifth wicket, that between Sachin Das and the captain Uday Saharan. 150 plus run stand over there between the two, one that bailed India out of trouble and eventually taking India to victory. Sashwat joins me as we try and bring to you what exactly happened over the course of the last few hours in South Africa, as this Indian team looks very, very good to defend its title. Sashwat, getting things started, what was the clincher as far as this match is concerned? If there's anything that I sort of missed out in terms of just summing the match, what is the clincher for you?
Definitely to start off India in the first innings also, the South Africa did eventually get to a decent enough total, which I think they weren't looking actually to reach, but they got those runs at the end of the innings. In the last 5 overs they got about 50 runs, but then when India came out to bat, early 4 wickets, it just clearly showed that how India actually dealt with the pressure, especially Uday Saran, how did he actually talk throughout the innings to someone like a Sachin Das. To start off, Uday Saran was playing really tentatively. He was a little slow as far as his innings was concerned, but Sachin Das, on the other hand, did not let the flow of runs stop. And under pressure against a really good bowling lineup, South Africa was on top of India to start off things. They were getting regular wickets, but then that partnership actually changed the home momentum of the game. India at the end again did look a little under pressure, but by then the match was done. Raj Limbani really impressed by the shot he actually played under pressure, because at that point it was just over a runner ball and you were 7 wickets down. So a really good partnership, I think, by Uday Saran and Sachin Das, and Uday Saran has continuously showed throughout the tournament that how he actually performs under pressure.
Absolutely, but let's be honest. Yes, this Indian team has managed to win, but there was one standout bowler in the South African side that was really testing you through and through. You look at his numbers in the run up to the finals as well, and not surprised, he came very close to breaking the all-time record as well as far as most wickets in the under 19 World Cup is concerned. Today as well, you almost thought with him taking a wicket in his penultimate as well as his last over as well, you thought that the match could well be gone from India's hand. He looked too good on the day, and one can say that credit to this Indian team, to the way, and especially to the captain, to the way that he negotiated with him.
And about Mafaka, it's not just that he has raw pace. He's quick, and he also showed that he has all the variations. He actually bowled short. He changed up his pace and bowled at different variations. So, like we have seen a lot of times in under 19 cricket, that these bowlers are just quick and they are just a little raw. But here, Mafaka really looked like a seasoned pro who was changing up the line. He knew what his plans were, and he changed up his pace also. When he got the wicket off Sachin Das, a really unlucky falling off at 96, that was a cutter. So that just showed how continuously he was changing his plans, and he had every thing to actually go back to.
But let's just spend some time now talking about the captain Uday Saharan, because he was slow to begin with, and that's what maybe the situation also required him to be. That is just soak in all the pressure, because again you lost the entire top order in almost no time, a situation that India didn't know how to counter or cope with, because the nature of the victories otherwise before the semi-final were very, very convincing. So he was slow to begin with, but the way that he changed his gears, that is worth talking about, because he was way off as far as the strike rate in an ODI game is concerned. He was less than 50 at one point, but after that he really took the attack on, knew which bowlers to target, and knew when the chances were to be taken. Unfortunate that he got run out right towards the end. He thought that he'd be the one getting the winning runs for India, but a captain's knock, well and truly, one can say.
And definitely someone like a Mushir Khan, who has already got quite a few runs in this tournament, is the highest run scorer of this tournament before this game. At least he was. He got out early on. Then someone like Arshan Kulkarni, who has got a century, got out. Adarsh Singh got out. The top order was in quite a big problem, but still Uday Saran fixed to his plans. He believed in his team, and with him, I think Sachin Das scored his a second century for him in the tournament. And Uday Saran definitely, I feel, truly a captain's knock, and it just showed that how he was actually communicating with Sachin Das throughout the tournament. He himself wasn't under pressure, but he wasn't even letting Sachin Das be under pressure, and they knew that they would eventually get to the target if they do not lose wickets, and I think that's exactly what Uday Saran
In
did.
fact, let me just add to that and just to tell you how and why one says that he's captain, he's captain material. That's not to do, let's say, just with his batting. Also, the fact that you go to the pre-match, you go to the post-match pressers, and when you hear, he hadn't gotten his 100, by the way, coming into this match, but it was Sachin Das who scored 100. It was. Also, Mushir Khan who scored 100
Even he
prior
had
to
scored 100 in the last
in the
game.
last game
Yeah.
against Nepal. Yes,
Yeah.
he did. But again, his was after those two had
Yeah.
already scored.
Yeah.
So the point I'm trying to make here is that that the other two, knowing that he hadn't actually scored 100 then, but the kind of support and the guiding role that he has been to many of the batters around him, that the fact that so many of his peers are now speaking highly of him in terms of the kind of support that he gives once he's there in the middle. Of course, today he had to comfort himself, and of course Sachin, of course, was there at the other end. But the fact that he was taking such responsibility tells you that there is something in the guy worth noticing and worth keeping an eye on. Because these are the credentials you want, let's say, in a captain, and it's just the right start, let's say, for Uday Saran as a captain, as he now marches on and takes his team into the final. Remember, India entering the final of the Under-19 World Cup for a ninth time, and they're chasing a record sixth title. There is no other team that's won as many titles as the Indian team has. There was a comment as far as that six right towards the end from Limbani is concerned. How sweet was that, Sarshwat? For somebody coming into bat at number 9, you don't expect the ball to be hit that cleanly. But boy, oh boy, did he not smoke that.
That was a brilliant shot. I think under pressure, I think until that point, we sitting here had questions that would India win from here or not. We had the nerves, but I know it was quite an overpitched ball, but actually to dispatch that too so long, in such conditions, I have seen a lot of players in the senior levels also who would have might just have missed it. But actually keeping his calm, being a bowler, hasn't got that much opportunity to bat in the tournament, not at all. That's why last time around also we saw batters from the middle order coming at the top of the order to actually get some game time. But someone like a Raj Limbani did not get that opportunity to bat in this tournament, and then to come and actually deliver this way. Really, this team, we a lot of times we talk about this fact that all the players, there's not much difference in skill if you talk about the age group cricket and the senior cricket. It's about the temperament that you need to work on. And these, someone like a Raj Limbani, Sachin Das, Uday Saran for that matter, someone like, even if you talk about the bowler Soumi Pandey, have shown that they have that temperament to actually go carry forward their form from the under 19.
But and a great exhibition of, let's say, the winning mentality and temperament that you look for in a team, because this is an Indian team that's not seen itself being in a situation that it was today in. Yeah. And if you're wondering why exactly is it that the Indian team found itself in such a precarious position today, well, if you were to ask me, you look at all those wickets, barring one, let's say, the top 3 wickets that you lost were all down to just extra bounce. I think today that extra bounce was really something that the Indian batters found it hard to negotiate with, which is why the likes of an Adarsh and the entire top order struggled today. Uday as well was slow, not just because of the fact that he couldn't afford to take risks and you had already lost 4 wickets, but it was to begin with difficult. But one thing I must say, once this Indian team was going good, South Africa are to be held culpable as far as bowling all those extras are concerned. In excess of 20 extras, and Nikhil joins us now. In excess of 20 extras, well, that's where you felt that perhaps as a bowling unit, South Africa could have done better and had better control of this match, which obviously they had at one point, but eventually lost. And those wides were only giving them a additional
I have
momentum.
questions for you. Who has been the 5 standout performers for the Indian team
Today or in general?
in this tournament?
In this tournament?
5 to today, though.
Yeah. Soumi Pandey, Uday Saran,
One by one. Why Swami Pandey, the left arm spinner?
Yeah, because he's one of the highest wicket takers at this point, highest wicket takers for India at this point, and has bowled really well, really economical, has always come in the middle and actually held things back for the Indians, stopped that run flow. So Swami Pandey definitely one of them. Then Uday Saran, for obvious reasons, he just showed that again today.
What? Give us a background about Uday Saharan. Next Shubman Gill.
He's been compared to the next, and is being touted
must
to
be
be the next Shubman Gill, because the journeys are quite similar between that of Shubman Gill and Uday Saharan, because both parents, both fathers rather, wanted the child to be taking up cricket, moved from what their actual native centers were to, let's say, bigger centers. In Gill's case, we know that he came from a village, but then father moved closer to Chandigarh because he wanted his son to get better exposure. A similar situation there for Uday Saharan as well. He also moved centers, comes from Rajasthan, but interestingly, both have played for Punjab and have scored heavily for the Punjab side in the youth sides that they've played in.
Okay, so 2 done.
Yeah.
Number 3.
Mushir Khan undoubtedly has contributed with the ball, has come out to bat for India at number 3 and given those 130s, and he's converted his hundreds into a 130, 140s.
200s,
yeah,
right?
200s and the 70s.
Didn't fire
also.
today, but
Yeah.
then tells you the depth of this batting.
Yeah,
Okay,
exactly.
that's number 3. You have to talk about Sachin Das.
Sachin Das,
Yes.
definitely. Sachin Das again.
Number 4?
Yeah, back-to-back centuries for him, if I'm not wrong. But definitely his second century, got 116 last time around. Also, again 96, a little unlucky. Wasn't expecting that slower one from him. But then again unlucky, but definitely did make the match for India. It was at the end that you did struggle a bit, but he did definitely take you to the winning position also.
Okay, 4 done. Number 5, Arshin Kulkarni. Number 5?
I-
Or somebody else?
Yeah, I'm a little confused. See, Arshin Kulkarni again does show that potential and everything, but because we have to choose just 5, again Raj Limani also shows promise, but doesn't have those many wickets till now in the tournament. Only had 4 wickets in the first
His
4
6th that he hit today,
Yeah.
I think that itself puts him in the top 5. Just that 6, because you could have lost the game from him. But I'm saying Arshin because he's got runs with the bat, not too many wickets with his medium pace, but the fact that you have a fast bowling all-rounder, which is, what is that? A rare commodity. Once in
10 years.
once in a
lifetime.
generation, once in
Generation.
lifetime, we get fast bowling all-rounders.
Yeah.
So if that is the case, then I'd have to say that Arshin Kulkarni probably 5.
And
You can
LSG
debate.
LSG has definitely noticed that once in a generation talent, so they've absolutely grabbed him in the first auction he actually came in.
Nobody picked up Uday Saharan in the IPL, but
No.
I'm guessing he could be that other guy you're going to look at. By the way, one word on that South African fast bowler. I think if I was to pick one player out of all the players that I saw today, because with India, sometimes these players become stars, sometimes they don't. But with the South African left arm fast bowler, I can't get his pronunciation right. But I think if I had to bet just one player, they've lost. But I have to pick one player who I will definitely see in international cricket, probably the earliest. I'm going to pick the South African.
Yeah, definitely. And again, like I was mentioning in the beginning also, it's not just that he has pace. He has pace, and he also showed that he has all the variations that you need to succeed in the international format. So that is something I really liked about him, and the temperament. In the beginning also, I don't think that you were mentioning the batsmen were done by pace and bounce, but I think it was how he actually used that pace. All those bounces that he used and he got rid of the top order were well directed to exactly what
So watch out for him. What's his name?
Mafaka.
Mafaka. Is that the correct pronunciation?
Abhijit bhi has the perfect pronunciation for
Huh?
him.
Is it? We all are confused. Mafaka is what we're going with. Pardon us if our Indian pronunciation isn't great, but that's the one to watch out for. His cutter was like Mustafizur.
Yeah, a really good cutter. And
When
if he's
I-
at the right place.
When I'm Mapaka.
Quena Mafaka. Watch out for this. Outstanding today. You feel for him. Ever since he had the ball in his hand, you knew that South Africa were in with a chance. He got done with his 10 overs. And from there on, and by the way, by the time he got done with his 10 overs, it was a 50-50 game. But soon after he gets done, the game goes in India's favor.
Interesting, he reminds you of a certain Kagiso Rabada, I feel, because he too was quite impressive in that 2014 2015, if I'm not wrong, at the time that he played the Under-19 World Cup. And by the way, may I add, this was his second edition, the second time that Mafaka's playing in an Under-19 World Cup, because he's played in the past as well, which is why you were looking at him probably leapfrogging a certain Bangladeshi player who holds the record. I think that stands at 22 wickets, of the most wickets being picked up by a bowler at the Under-19 World Cup. He now, I think, will end the tournament with either 20 or 21. Came very close. Picked 18 this time around. So,
But you should be allowed to play too many under-19 World
No,
Cups. Like
even
India has
Uday
done.
Saharan was also second World Cup for him. He didn't play the last time around, but he was in the reserves last
But
time.
he didn't play now. So
Yeah.
I think India has now gone with that policy. Of
No,
not
that's a
playing.
fix. Yeah, you cannot play two under-19 World Cups.
That's
You
what
can
I'm
just play
saying.
one.
So the Indian team now can sit back, relax, look forward to that final on Sunday. But before that, on Thursday is the other semi-final. That's Australia versus Pakistan. That's going to be a humdinger of a contest. So India can wait for either Australia or Pakistan to join them in the final. Of course, as you know, the Indian team now gunning for their sixth title, which is most by any team in the history of the tournament. The next best is Australia with 3 titles, India with 5. Already the most. They have a chance to make it 6. But then ninth final, which also is the most for any team. Records galore. That's all that we have in this live coverage of the Indian team making it to the final of the Under-19 World Cup. But we've got lots more videos coming up on the Under-19 World Cup. So for that, stay tuned to Sports Today. Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Take
Take
care.
care.